Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's more PUBG Europe Contenders action coming your way, and we're starting off with 3 games of Miramar. Now, remember what happened yesterday? Moonwolf ended up not being able to play all of their games. Yeah. They needed 40,000 hamsters to power that computer to try and get it going, as our producer found out for us. Sadly, getting 40,000 hamsters really quick.
We only had one.
Yeah, we're not really that educated yet, right, to be that prepared, make sure we've got that all going. But these scoreboards changed a lot, Toby.
Indeed, they did.
And Moonwolf still have a fighting chance to come back into it, because we can already see they've got all 4 players up and ready. The hamsters are spinning like crazy.
Didn't throw them out too hard for sure. They're sitting well in 10th place right now with a good chance to crawl on up. But a team, gotta mention them, had a good day yesterday. Zoekt Een Naam, able to pull off a good performance, and we know what they can do on Miramar as well. That's gonna be scary. Alongside Desperado, 2 wins on a 3-game day. Very, very impressive performance from them yesterday.
Yeah, 16-point win and 18-point win coming out there for Desperado. And the game in between was still not even that bad for
them. No, not at all. It was like 8-point game, I think.
And this is what I mean, right? That's a team right now that is showing what they've got to do here to ensure that they're not kind of losing out, because you're not safe just yet. We say this, right? And it's still so close. Anything can happen. There's still this massive battle going on. Yes, you can see really from PG18, it's a bit of a stretch further down to Quickmath right now. But we've seen what certain teams like Se7en, like Avangar, like Moonwolf, even what Quickmath have shown us with their change up of being passive sometimes and then being more aggressive to try and catch teams off guard. And remember, we're now going to Miramar, where some of our heavy hitting teams haven't really showed us all what they have to offer other than Zen.
Yeah, I mean, PG right now in 8th, they're sitting in somewhat of a buffer zone, I guess you could say. They're sitting in the in-between, in the limbo.
Limbo definitely
Are we
is
on the
correct,
top, are we on the bottom? There's like a solid 20 points on either side for them. But for teams that are coming up now, I'm looking at Moonwolf. What can they pull off here in today's Miramar games? Teams like Quickmath as well, they've been able to rotate well in Miramar. Seems like they could have a fighting chance of potentially taking away a spot. Not necessarily take away from PG, but make that gap closer. So coming into tomorrow's games, that's where you really got to see it, sit and say, we're not safe. We're not safe whatsoever.
And we talk about the top 8 so often. When you look at the points, obviously you guys should be very familiar with this. It's only points for the top 8, 1.1 kill. We're getting on to our end of our 42nd match at the end of today.
That's a lot of PUBG.
By the way, that's only the final stage, right? That's not even our group stages we had. We have gone through tons of PUBG. It has been a lot of fun, but I think for some of these teams now, we were talking about, yes, you want to be within that top 8 because you have the money, you have the honor of being higher up, right, in terms of the other teams, but still, it's down to 12th that can find their way to Berlin. Yeah. And that is where it's real scary right now, because Avangar, Se7en, Moonwolf, all very close to each other, and the teams that aren't too far behind them could still potentially catch up, especially if Avangar have another, and I hate to keep pointing them out, but when you expect so much better from one team, and it has really dropped off, and I'm not seeing this return. I'm not seeing the Avangar we used to see him.
Nope, not at all. Seems like can't really get it going the way. Whether it's the pickup of Tog, replacing Snoopy, what it is, we don't know. But clearly something is not working the way they would have wanted it to. But one thing we haven't really discussed in all of this, because it is a lot of PUBG, both for the guys that are playing and for those you guys watching, of course, as well. How deep is your playbook? I mean, if you're a team that has been struggling early on, you go, okay, this didn't work, we got to go to this. Okay, this didn't work either, we got to go to that. I mean, how many alternatives do you have, even for the teams that are succeeding? They cannot just continue to do the same thing. You got to constantly do variations and all these sort of things. How many different options can you pull off in a essentially 96 stretch tournament with both group stages and finals, right? That's a lot of games to constantly try and be ahead of your opponent in.
And we spoke about this, right, in a bit of detail. And Avangar is now the perfect example of this. Yeah. You make a change going into the final stage. So from groups to final stage, they decided Snoopy was not in anymore, Tog's going to be in. How much did they really get time-wise to integrate one new player into the roster? Because you may think, oh, it's one player, he'll just fit all the same roles as Snoopy, but it doesn't work like that, because everyone has individual ways they play, certain setups that they're used to playing with. If you're trying to mold someone in, you need a little bit more time than a couple of weeks to actually make that a viable option in it. And we saw it from Se7en. They brought in their 5th man to rotate in sometimes for them, and they didn't see too much extra success, right? Because you're so used to playing with a set of players, and what happens with that is you say, okay, well, this is happening. I know how they would react in this situation. I know what position he'll usually have in this kind of a fight when we breach compound, as an example. That stuff maybe not being seen so much for some of these players that are just joining into teams, and you can definitely not say that, like, they have not had a fair amount of time to get into it. Plus practice games outside of playing in contenders. It is time for where you say, okay, do we just go back to basics?
I don't know. I mean, I think the only team we can really pinpoint that has had success in adding a new player late would be Tornado Energy. They did struggle the first week. They struggled the first week. I think they were sitting 13th after the week 1 was over, right? But then all of a sudden, that was clearly the time they needed. Good. Now we've played the games. You know what lobby we're up against. Talking over in the weekend while PL is playing. Come back on Monday, get things going, and they did. I mean, Elias started doing better. Even now, Elias been fragging out like a madman. Was in second place in kills coming into this week from last week's games, and also yesterday, pretty decent performance for Tornado Energy. So clearly things are working well for both Elias and the team, and it's good to see that it's not just you should never add a new fourth player because it's a bad thing. Yeah. It's very hard to do. It's extremely hard to incorporate communication, everything that you pinpointed before. But it's doable, and they're showing it us.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, right? It's different per team. It's different depending on how you're setting up. And also, you might just have a player who is a better fit. Like Aaliyah could be just what Tornado needed. For sure. Where I'm not, and by the way, I'm not saying that Tok is not what Avangar needed. But currently, right now, he doesn't fit with this typical Avangar style we talk about.
It clearly just takes longer for them to find their groove with a new player on the roster than it has been doing for Tornado Energy. They've gotten in sync a little quicker, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, right? You have to feel these things out a little bit further. Because what a lot of these teams are going to do is enjoy a very fair playing.
Yeah.
South all the way down, north all the way down south, and everyone will get pretty much to where they want to get here. There's no real hard place for this to go.
Nope.
And the more I want to look at is, do we see any changes? Do we see anyone try and mix things up here on Miramar when we're getting down to it? Because we're looking at, in total, 8 more games, including today. Is that all we've got left? All we've got left, Toby. So when do some of these teams say, all right, throw the playbook out the window, all the notes, they're going to the side, we need to really mix things up a little bit?
Of course, it depends on how far down the leaderboard you are and what your goal is. I mean, everybody wants to win, but if you're sitting 13th right now, that's probably not what you're realistically looking for. But of course, you always want to get out those chicken dinners and want to get closer to it. Because even if you are in the top, of course, for those of you guys who might not know and think it's only the top 12 and all of that, you want to get into the money as well. There's quite a bit of it on the line. $30,000 in the prize pool here.
I'll take it.
For the Contenders Phase 2. Ferg's Circle 1 has shown itself, revealed itself to us, and all the blue teams, they're well in it. You can see that Burger Man and Ice Cream Man are happy. And, I mean, for everyone else on your screens, they're getting looted up pretty easily. And no one in Montenegro, no one in El Pozo so far should make rotations rather easy for most teams. It's just, do you rotate over Picardo in that area of the map, or do you try and swoop around? I would assume that most teams are going to try and make somewhat of an edge around rotation, either from the far down south around Los Leones, or make it all the way around north.
Yeah, it's taking that longer route around, but a potentially safer one when it comes down to it. That's what it's going to be about here. And I want to see if Zen can keep things going. We spoke about them having more success on Miramar so far throughout this tournament than Erangel. Considering they were one of our really key Miramar Erangel teams when it came to it through Phase 1, I want to see if they can deliver this same style they showed yesterday with just consistent amount of good games back-to-back here on the next 3 days and just ensure that they're like, yep, that number 1 spot is ours.
That's it's tricky, right? Because again, if they have a lot of success on a map like this, which they have had, teams will be looking back at those games and say, okay, so if Zoekt Een Naam can do well, if these teams that are doing good can keep doing it, there's got to be a pattern to it, right? It's not that they just throw out completely new things every single game and it works out for them. There's got to be somewhat of a pattern, somewhat of a system, and if they can do it, and we look at our team, we look at their team and think, okay, our play styles, they're not exactly the same, but they're not that different either. Maybe we could try and incorporate some of the things they're doing. And that's where you see some of those Goliaths that tend to just brawl on through it, start stumbling.
And that's where you don't want to be, right? When you sit there and you find a bit of a struggle to reinvent yourself when it comes down to it. We've seen many teams get off to good starts overall, be very high up on the placings. And then when it comes down to you get to week 3, week 4, things are a bit shaky now.
You can put it down to this. As a metaphor, you want to change your you want to change your route before you get ambushed. You don't want to get ambushed and then react to it. You have to be there before they even, before you even see them, right?
Yes.
You have to have made that new plan. And then, for a team in Zoekt Een Naam who has had success on Miramar, how long, that's also a thing, right? How long can we do this, guys? How long is it going to work for? When are people going to realize what's going on? When are people going to try and prevent us from doing what we're succeeding in? And do we change it up before we get countered? or do we keep on going until we have that one bad game where it's like, okay, they clearly knew what we're doing now.
Yeah. And that because sometimes you can kind of rest easy on it and you think, oh, yes, no problems at all here. I can keep running this. And then you do literally hit a brick wall or run into some teams that will be ready for you.
Yeah. Zoekt Een Naam, speaking of which, they'll be making their way down south. Should be having a pretty easy rotation in on from the south. They'll just be going down, I would assume, south of where Edelweiss is right now, and then make their way on up according to the next circle. Everyone in the north will have a bit more of a distance to cover. We see Perfectix now as well, spotting out Jupesig. Is he going to start shooting?
Okay, he's got the information. He's waiting. Jupesig seems to be completely unaware of Perfectix's position.
Also, he is way on his own.
Yes.
I mean, he does not have a teammate within a kilometer. The thing is, he doesn't know that Jupesig is probably by himself. I mean, he's always got to sit and look around. Where's that next vehicle coming?
Yeah.
Because if one player rotates through, didn't see anyone, that's a call to his teammates saying, "Oh, you can just rotate the path that I took because there was no one here." So maybe either he's trying to lure more people into the trap, or he's just trying not to get spotted by his opponents.
Smart caution. That's what it's all about.
For sure.
Picking your battles and making sure you're happy with what you're seeing going around him. And at least he'll have that information now to pass on to his team, because everyone else, like you said, is further away when it comes down to it. Se7en, though, yesterday, we started to see more success out of them, more so on the kill side than placement points. They're back to their old tricks again. So they'll be one of those, and they are one of those teams, right, who are potentially not actually going to make it through. And that's wild to think when you're talking about a name like Se7en.
It is pretty damn interesting to see how they were succeeding so well in the... I mean, they got second place in the Kickoff Cup, right?
Yes.
That was the Phase 1/Phase 2 kind of fight between PEL and Contenders teams. And all of a sudden, they're just not finding the groove.
Perfect. We could just about see you back, buddy. Luckily, Tozera can't make these shots connect. He just prone down and he's like, okay, there's no option for me here.
Don't carry liquids in your backpack because I think they will indeed fall out because there's going to be so many holes in it by now.
Perfectix is now truly stuck. Tozera is just waiting.
There's really a button to suck in your stomach, like...
Yeah. It's like, can I make myself any smaller? Can I fit here? Oh, what? That Simsy turns around from Besiktas, and he's going to actually find Tozera and take him down. Besiktas rolled on up and have actually helped Perfectix out quite massively here.
On Miramar, these two teams, I mean, they have been on top of each other all the way through. We're talking a Minas team up against an Impala team, and obviously they're from somewhat close areas of the map. It's just crazy how they constantly, I mean, we're talking constantly in Miramar run into each other.
Similar styles of play will allow that to happen.
And the thing for Besiktas is, I mean, if they don't run into Desperados early, then they get Avangar instead, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you've got two options here, really, and neither are that pretty. Neither is what I would like to be facing off against, that's for sure. But Gamerlegion is going to find Bjorn being knocked down there. We need a home getting engaged. We need a home currently, if you're looking at the map screen, they do have a 2-2 split going on. So they're going to keep themselves probably not too active into the fights just yet. See what's going on around them. But my worry is, from looking at this, they could easily be cut off right now with no option to rotate back into each other.
Yeah, and that's where you got to really start valuing or stuff. But like, figure out as a team what the pressure points are first of all, but also with the compounds you have now, what is in between us. We need to have somewhat of a path to one another, and if the circle jumps on top of them, which of course would be good because they have the compounds then.
But yeah.
Is it really good with the way they're positioned right now? Can they make that quick rotation over? We saw Quickmath plenty of times on a rankle be punished because they have taken more than what they could really control and gotten penalized for it. So we'll see. We'll see.
I love Perfectix.
He's
just like, we're getting out of it.
Whatever works.
I've seen them go. They've done the damage. Where's the rest of my team? Get me back to safety.
Guys, pick me up. I don't want to do this anymore. That's to say that he starts shooting.
Oh, okay.
So he's clearly not that scared.
He's like, I'll only take a certain amount of this shooting towards me, and then I'm coming into the fight.
Yeah. As you can see, he is by himself. Quizzy now in there to help him a little bit. But PG, they're crawling up from behind on the east and northern side there of Los Leones.
Yeah, that's where Perfectix and Northern Lights don't want to tunnel vision too much. As a circle will pop, and we're going mostly up north, but staying central around Picardo. We've got that still included. But this keeps actually the majority of teams within the circle. Very interesting style for these teams to work from here, because this doesn't happen all too often.
We're seeing Quickmath sitting dead center right now, and that, I don't know what it is, but that compound has had a magnet on it for quite some games previously, and I do not think they're going to do anything before, like, 100% confirm. Even if it's on the edge, they're gonna stay there just because it has gone here so many times before. Why not just, you know what, we'll just throw the dice and we'll hope that they roll the way we want them to.
So all things considered, this has worked out really well for Northern Lights. Besiktas is going to continue to move forward. They get a further central position here. They've got Moonwolf close by, who they ripped apart last time around. We were on a wrangle.
Great reaction play from Wash out there too. We talked about with, I think it was Zoekt Een Naam yesterday, who didn't get to react quickly enough. Same thing for Quickmath. And now in those situations where a team just pulls up on a compound, he saw it immediately. And even though he was in the minivan, that arguably is the slower accelerator, he was able to get out of there without harm. So really impressive that he called it so early.
I'm loving Perfectix at the moment. He's just giving me so much joy. He's like some espionage spy scout who's gone further forward, but he's playing it so well that he's getting all this information. He's seeing and hearing what these teams are doing. You said that they need to worry about PG-18.
Yeah.
Well, Perfectix know exactly where they are, and he's got the rest of his team now with him.
Yeah, the thing is, he's not the one to aggressively go ahead and take these fights. He's just the one to sit down and saying, guys, they're over here. And then they all start shooting for him. You see Quizzy once again lining up shots towards now the PG players. And we need a home. Well, they're still split off 2-2. Bjorn clearly taking some damage, and he's going to try to retreat back towards Mac. And well, Gamerlegion didn't have the best of days yesterday. They got surpassed now by Zoekt Een Naam as far as the scoreboard goes too. But I want to see them succeed here, because they have been, they've been getting themselves a couple of wins on Miramar too.
It's funny when we say this now, though, because there's been so many games on both maps. It's just like, yes, we've nearly seen everyone do it. You predicted that at the very start. You said everyone would walk away with a win. We need to work that out. Is there some teams that haven't?
Riddle won the first one.
We've seen 4AK have wins, Riddle, Tornado.
Does We Need a Home have a win in the finals?
I know in group stage, not sure about final stage.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
We Need a Home, don't let Toby down. Get a win in there somewhere.
Get a win today, We Need a Home. We could use that. Okay, Bro goes down. Perfect is like, no, over here, guys, over here. That's what I said to begin with. Come on, listen to me.
Could you imagine if that's actually Perfectix comms? He's like, I scouted it, I gave you all the information, and you went the wrong way. Come on,
damn shots, guys.
No, he'd definitely not be doing that. He would be encouraging on his teammates and looking at how they can try and take this. But PG-18, now well aware of their positions and can hear what's going on.
And
it's more about how they deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, Perfect. Oh, he saw him.
Timing.
Yeah, I think he just spotted his shield, and I was going to say Perfect, he's been throwing nades, and I think they realized that you can't throw them from this distance. And our super duper ninja scout is no more. At least he's been knocked now. And well, I mean, this ain't really going to make things any easier.
Quizzy up high as well. He's looking to see if he can pick some of these PG-18 players from afar. He's been a solid player for this team over and over again. One of those players we both pointed out as being highly skilled mechanical-wise, but also good awareness of the game around him. And as this circle shifts all the way out towards the west, these guys now need to actually make a decision. Do we continue to fight here, or do we just move on forward?
Also, look at the control We Need a Home have right now. Thank you, Rita, for taking that compound. You got to go out and you got to start defending it. If any car comes anywhere within, I want to say 300 meters of you, you better start shooting, because you need all your teammates down there and need them down there in a hurry.
Klein doing a spray down onto Jupesig, bit of distance on it, did have the 3 times. Do some damage towards Jupesig, but more towards the vehicle than anything else. It's also going to be given the same treatment, but he's just going to roll away and say, do you know what? Not really worth going for this one right now.
Yeah. They lost Tarsera early. Fake was down before as well, but he went back on up in his feet. And Winside now taking casualties. So things not really going the way they wanted to. But look at this one, 7. They're coming up the hill with a little bit of pressure being applied from Besiktas. They have people right above them too.
Yeah, many smaller fights will be taking place here. And it's the teams where, are they going to stick it and try and get the kills in? Where Nemrith, he's picked up one onto Perfectix. And you see it, the one you were talking about, Toby. Besiktas going up against 7. 7 are just trying to find an opening. Jupes is actually going to get the kill onto Frank. This is not what they would have wanted. Buster was also down to half health.
What is interesting to me here is how 7 committed to this compound up the hill. I think they wanted it, and you see how high ground it is. You have a really good scouting opportunity from there, but no tag was already up there. And, well, I mean, it's not really going to be possible for them to make anything going up there any longer. Buster is by himself. Krabik is trying to get away from there. Want to see what Krabik is doing up in the compound. 1v3.
And it's about the timing for this. And they're also fighting for dead space. That compound they were fighting for is no longer in the circle either. So if you can get out of there, now is the time to do it. Quiz is going to be moving forward for sure already here, as you can see. Otherwise, has just gone off around from the side of him. Many of these teams and players are just going to be running and bumping into each other as they do try to escape this. Buster's been left alone. He needs to make sure of this, though. He would have heard the no-tag team players moving away, but it all comes down to timing. And I think what you've really got to look at here is which teams can survive this. And, well, for Besiktas, that is not what they would have wanted. Edukar's doing a lot of damage towards him. He's able to back away. They get the kill onto Lux as well. And that was huge. Before Besiktas even jump out the car, the damage had already been done.
Not a whole lot they could do there. They're trying to react as fast as possible. But Educar was there to apply the damage needed in order to get himself the point secured. And Ultra and Simsi Tamil will now have to make the run up the hill.
Got quite a distance to go as the deep lands some spray down, but O'Connell is able to provide the cover fire. OK Bro's looking for an opportunity here, but is it going to come his way? It would require some players to get over aggressive and poke out in front of him, and they still have to make their way in. This is the big problem. They spent so much time here.
O'Connell was split off from his team for the longest of time. He was really far away from them, but getting himself an area secured. Now it's not going to last him a whole lot longer. And I'm just looking at this Quickmath compound and saying they're going to stay. I'm telling you. They're staying for as long as they can.
Phase 4, Quickmath have been in that compound since Phase 2.
Phase 1.
Phase 1, they went in Phase... Oh, yeah, off the first... Yeah, you are correct. Off the first circle we had. And now they're sat there thinking, well, I've seen all these teams run around from us. Anyone want to try crash us? We're ready.
They're going to be doing everything they can to control it, of course. It is a rather big compound, so fortunately there are 4 guys up, because even with 3 it can be really hard to control it. Arrows does land a shot, but doesn't get the knock in. He's going to be able to give himself time enough to get the rest on up towards Gibbet. Gibbet was a heavy hitter for the first couple of weeks, and then he's kind of fallen off over the last week. I think he went from something like, if not being the top damage, like top... what do you call it? Top kills in the tournament, something like it, down to 20th place overall.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Occo, even despite not being able to play 2 games yesterday, was able to be the #1 kill still across all of the final stage so far.
That's impressive. It just goes to show how well he's been doing the other weeks, right?
Yeah, he has been putting up a performance. Tornado, though, they're being held away for now. They're getting some shots at them from 4AK while they were also trying to deal with some of the Zen players, but they won't take the fight just yet. They're going to back away. Zen is inside the circle and in a good spot, while Tornado's still working their way in and trying to find that extra cover they need.
Somehow Buster managed to live through all of that too. Very interesting in the sense that he had 3 guys in the compound he was in earlier. Besiktas says they're going to go out early on. Unfortunately for them, they had a rough rotation to make, and it didn't work out the way they would have wanted it to. They will be jumping out here and sit and wait patiently until the next game starts.
I think they picked up 1 kill in total, that early one onto Tozera, but that's all they've been able to achieve. Avangar going up against Winside. Azrin trying to push up close range. And Active and Maxizor playing the long distance game. Tok's already been killed off. There you go, as for an easy pickings for him. Does get the knock in there, but that was a bit scary. That could have maybe missed a few more shots and actually gone their way. If he can land this nade, this would be huge as well. He spots out Gifted Rude, damage coming his way. He has been headshotted, and Azrin won't be able to stand up. Northern Lights get eliminated as Moonwolf take down OK Bro, but this fight is still going on. They're trying to do their best to save Azrin here, but it's not going to work out. And then Maxwell gets picked off by Coldamenta. He was too far forward push, and now Inactive, he is all on his own. He's being sprayed at, and he's going down. Avangar again.
It worked.
Falling short.
It looked so good with him pushing up. That just did not work out with Desperados all of a sudden jamming in from the side. But of course, that's the name of the game when we go over towards Miramar. We have these open endings. Some teams will have the compounds and the cover. They'll be in all kinds of joy. The other guys, well, they'll be running around in the open. They'll have nothing but chaos around them.
Winside able to hold on with 3 players, off the back of that.
They all survived it, yeah.
So only losing out on that 1 initial fight that came into it, so that's solid for them.
Very fortunate, everything considered. They were down to just 1 player at the point, right? So
yeah.
Very, very, very fortunate.
T-Bone trying to land some of these shots onto Arrows, who is blissfully unaware right now. He's like, where are these shots coming from? Who is doing this?
Damn suppressors. Coward. Show yourself. Something like that. Circle. Is it going to be the Quickmath magnet on the compound? Yes, it is.
Quickmath are living the dream, man.
They'll be chilling. The thing is, I don't know how many kills they're going to get off of this, and that's what we're talking about, right? When you have those compounds that are well in the circle, well, I mean, if they only have 1 or 2 kills and then they get pushed and they die, that's going to be them going up with 1 or 2 points too.
Oh, Moon is going to find his kill onto Desperado's Coldamenta. Will be able to get the finish off onto him. That's going to be the next question. Winside now looking to get active. They push forward. Coldamenta does go down. You see Krabic, he's still trying to hold on the best he can. Throws a nade out. He's trying to get the timing on point for when this push is going to come into him. I like the style. I like the confidence. This might be able to help him hold on for a bit because they are pushing up real close to him.
Give it has gone down too, and he gets naded. Arrows throws it in. He does get the nade knock in return. But Se7en will indeed go out. Fake now caught on one side between Moonwolf and the guys in Winside. That is not where he wants to be sitting. And if he can do anything right now, that's going to be lay low and hope they'll focus each other rather than him.
Yeah, Fake is now piggy in the middle, and it's not something I want to be in the middle of. All those grenades and shots coming into play. Winside looking to rack up further kills here, already up at 4, but they've also got PG-18 trying to deal with them from both sides. They are sandwiched, and Fake actually is in a position where he can be finding himself some cover here.
PG didn't have a very good week last week, and they're trying to make up for it, of course, here with the final week of games to play. And, well, I mean, they have a chance to rack up something against Winside, but Winside, on the other hand, they need to get a good showing in, too.
I feel really sorry for Krabic, man. He was playing that so well. He's like, I'll throw these out. This can work out. No problems at all. And then all of a sudden, he goes down, but he still picks up that extra kill onto Arrows, so he'll take that. I'm not complaining about that.
Did manage to get one in the end of things. Tornado, they're pushing slowly forward. We've seen them in these similar situations before where they didn't really want to commit to the other cross. It's actually the exact same spot here where they committed to the shack rather than the compound. And it seems like they're doing the exact same thing again.
The fans crew looking to try and load and land those shots. The smoke is down in front of him. Will make this just that bit harder. He wants to blow up the car to ensure safety for him and his teammates. T-Bone got a little bit wider here as well. Look at the way he's playing it on the cost of the road. And this is what's happening once again for Tornado. They are just being picked apart one by one. Aaliyah doing his best to hold on, but the rest of his teammates are starting to fall. It's only him and Example still within it.
They're fighting 2 teams at the same time, and it makes very little sense to me. They could smoke off, Zoekt Een Naam, push down towards the compound, or do the other thing. Now they're trying to smoke in the middle and push 2 teams at the same time. It's not going to work for them at all.
And that will find themselves going out in 10th place here. That was a bit of deja vu for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense to me. It's the second time they do it too. You'd think that they would have learned it from the first time, but unfortunately not the case. On the other side of things, though, we have Moonwolf and Winside. That fight is far from over. And Arco and Edgicast are trying to stand strong against Gifted.
Oh, the timing. Occo did just spot him out there. When's he going to go now? Sees him again. Gifted Brew trying to run away, and Occo gets the spray onto him, but won't find the knock at all yet.
I think that pan just tanked 4 bullets. Cling, 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 cling.
Occo's like, I definitely hit him. I knew something happened.
Look at these circles. Quickmath, they're going to be clapping their hands with this. And Winside, on the contrary, not going to be that satisfied. 9th place, just short of placement points, but they believe they got themselves 5 kills, so a decent bad game for them.
Now, this northern side is heavily contested. Riddle, 4AK, PG-18 have all got to work their way in. Riddle can be the gatekeepers for a bit of time, but it's more about how long they want to spend here.
Yeah, they are outside the circle, but they know they have players still north of them, and I think that's going to have to be their focus point. They need to make sure that no one can push around.
Yeah, they want to try and deal with them first. They've got 3 kills already. Hanny landing a couple of shots, but Peltzig is able to reply. We're seeing it again from Zen. They've worked their way up, and they're looking to take out some of these northern teams. The first ones they're going to see is 4AK. Northwest, the only one still in it. And Peltzig, he's not really engaged in this fight. Remember, Quickmath are down in their compound. But anytime someone pokes out, he's taking a few shots there. He's pushing them away. He's getting that extra damage dealt.
Play it slow, engage it late. That's been the strategy.
Oh, no.
Full Zoekt Een Naam is working now. PG in all kinds of trouble. They'll lose 2 players real quickly. 4AK as well going to go down and out. There's going to be Northwest out, so they finish off in 8th place. Nailib now down 2, and all of a sudden it's just these left remaining.
They got picked apart real quick. PG-18, they made a drastic run for it, but it didn't pay off, that's for sure. Riddle now up at 5 kills with 4 alive. They can just deal with these and take some control of this northern side of it and push down. That'll be heaven for them.
Winside out. Avangar out. I mean, that's going to be Riddle really, really clapping their hands if they can get a good win in here.
Misse landing a few shots from the compound that Quickmath have been occupying. It is the best position you can have in this circle currently. Depending on when the next circle shifts, of course. Moonwolf still trying to find their way in, but their position's certainly known. They've been fighting for the longest amount of time, so how are they going to try and get into this? Vex is going to find himself being knocked down here by Riddle, which means Gamerlegion, who are out in the open currently, are being completely overrun by Riddle. But luckily, Vasquez's there. He's able to land the shots, and he's able to take down Clib, which could give them a fighting chance. And they're going to go over the top, and Gamerlegion need to react to this.
I was going to say that's the counterpoint to it. Every single second Riddle spends silhouetting over that hilltop is going to be all the remaining teams in the game that can see them, and they can't commit to it before they know the guys below us taking more casualties. Now seems like Oko is in a nade distance, throws one forward, not going to go quite far enough, like the overview that we get here. Quickmath, they're going to get the circle again, and they have been here for the past 20 minutes, and they're not going to be complaining about it whatsoever.
It's all about the timing now. The new circle is still staying over the Quickmath compound, and they've actually pushed out there. They're looking to take some fights here, doing the damage onto the Moonwolf players. Edukos is the next one to fall. It's only Resu still up in it. And Moonwolf, they just did not expect any team to be running out of a compound like that and going for the fight. Hanny now up against Page. Good follow through of the spray down, but can't find himself getting the knock on there. A lot of shots connected, but no reply from Zen just yet. And Hanny's going to try and bring his teammate up.
7 kills for Riddle already. It's a good showing for them, but they want more and they have a chance to get more. That's the most crucial thing. Hanny does get up Sinsen, so they have a chance to continue this fight for a little while longer. They are outside the circle, though, and it's going to close in momentarily. Hanny gets a lot of damage applied, but not enough. Page turns around and spots him.
Hanny's got to be kicking himself now. That's twice. He's had great opportunities, but he can't find the knocks coming in there. Page was able to push him away, and now Vasquez's doing further damage. Riddle once again under pressure with another player knocked. Zinzan's only just got himself healed up to full health, and now he'll go down, and it's all up to Zinzan. What can he do from this position? He's fighting throughout the smoke. There's shots coming out from Quickmath, but Zen will get the final kills in there as Hamster steals away from one finally. Riddle go out in 6th.
Unfortunate for Riddle. They were so close so many times, just did not work out for them whatsoever. Just 5 teams left remaining now, and all of a sudden, with Vasco down, Ivel and Page need to play it as a duo. Well, me and Page is not going to where Riddle were before. There's a chance for them to do something here, but it ain't gonna be easy.
It never is easy in love and war. As Page jumping, taking some shots, but will find himself getting knocked down. That's not ideal for him, and he'll instantly be finished off. Now it's all up to Ivel, and is he going to be able to stay alive? Rita is found eventually. She'd been proning out for the longest amount of time, but that will be then going out afterwards, straight in it with 4th.
Zoekt Een Naam now 4 games in a row with a top 5 placement. They're not gonna be dissatisfied with that. And as I say, they did get a 7th place yesterday, so that's not true. But a really good performances. Exactly. Good performances overall for them over the last 2 days so far. And a PEL session Quickmath, well, they got themselves 6 kills, so it wasn't that it was all kinds of quiet here. But well, they've gotten circles all game, and now they get one more.
Never having to move from the... Oh my god, this nade! No way! Oh, it did so much damage to Hamster if only he knew! Misse! That was a hero nade!
Gotta feel so bad too, right? Because now that he didn't get any knocks, it's one of those, I'm not gonna waste another
nade
to throw it over there.
Not there.
Had he got one knock, he would have thrown one more to finish, and that could have been the triple kill, right? But because nothing happened off of the first one, he's not gonna want to waste them. Also, I don't even, he doesn't have any more, so.
That was like bowling.
Yeah, it went all the way down there.
Extreme PUBG bowling by Misse. What a way to do it. Resu's still in this on our little solo cam down here. He's loving up life.
Wolf missed out on points yesterday, and they want them now.
And they've had a decent amount of kills. They took out a few teams, but it cost them a lot. As you can see, they've only got 1 left alive in it. But a 3rd place or better is very respectable, all things considered. Resu's like, do I take the... Oh, he just spawned out the Quickmath players. Okay, so he's got some information now. He's still miles away from the circle, but Gamerlegion are going the same route as he is. Oh, Resu.
He's trying to hold the angles. He knows there's got to be one more, right? There's got to be one more down there somewhere. Just cannot seem to find him.
Bjorn trying to push forward. Shots coming out close to him. Nothing connecting just yet. Lots of damage being done. A double knock nade comes in. McCann just runs away. He's well aware that this is more than he can handle.
Yeah, that smoke ended up countering Bjorn there because he did not see the nade before it was right in his face. Real unfortunate. Razor does get spotted out now as well. So Gamerlegion, whether they win this one or not, a top 2 placement is going to be a good turnaround from what they were able to put off yesterday. Second place is what it's going to be, and Quickmath secure themselves a 10-kill win and 20 points overall. Arguably, we said it, Circle 1, there has been tendencies, James, and that's where you as a player too. That's where you as a player too start doing these. We've seen these things happen so many times. And we said they were going to roll the dice, and well, they all rolled 6s, Yahtzee all the way through.
Yeah, it did work out massively there for Quickmath. And we were worried about them being contained too much in the compound and not getting enough kills. But 10 kills, that's respectable. I'll take that for a win.
Yeah, that is a very solid win for them. And that's, again, I mean, when you have 48 for them that has been both through finals and group stages, when you have so many games played, sometimes you just get those games where everything works out for you in the aspect of the Circle Lords giving you a few. And, well, I mean, they got a few there, and they're going to be well satisfied with it. They're going to take it into the next game, and hopefully, whether the Circle go for them or not, they can put up some good numbers.
Riddle walked away with 6th place and 7 kills as well. So it's quite interesting considering both Avangar and Se7en fell earlier than expected, or earlier than what they would have wanted in it.
Also, really, really interesting to see the Gamerlegion guys make it back on up. I mean, they've had some good numbers overall on Miramar, and now they're showing again that even though they didn't win the game, still a good 2nd place finish off, and have a good chance of delivering next game. But this situation wide here, if I see them do it a 3rd time,
yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna call them and be like, guys,
why?
Are we doing?
What's going on?
First
By the way,
time,
that's the
okay.
exact same spot as well, isn't it?
It was.
It's not even like we're saying it's crossing the road. No, this was the exact same spot. You should have learnt your lesson from this before. It didn't work out last time, and you approached it in the same way.
If you have a chance to engage one team, then don't engage 2.
If the other team starts to engage you, then right, fair enough. But like you said, you can throw down the smokes and just try and focus on one team for them.
Yeah.
Like, there are ways to try and avoid it, but instead for Tornado, they kind of just set themselves up with like, let's get as many kills as possible. Oh, we didn't hit our shots. Oh, now we're dead and we're eliminated.
I think it was that combined with they were split a bit when trying to cross, because you don't want to sit on top of each other. That's going to be nade thrown into one smoke, boom, you're all dead.
Yeah.
You have to spread it out a bit, but because they spread it out as thinly as they did, they were engaging. I mean, we can put it this way. You have a lot of area where you can cross that road. If they know that we're going down into an area where there's a shack, 4 players there, there's a compound, 4 players there, maybe you want to look to cross somewhere else. I mean, you could take the swerve around. They got that, and they went to that action in Circle 4, I believe, so they could have crossed further north, maybe going from there. It's a harder area because it's more open, but you don't have to shoot at 8 players at the same time.
And that's never what you want to do, right? If a third party comes in, then yes, you have to deal with it. But this was like, let's make this as difficult as possible for ourselves. And unlike what I'm seeing here, both Moonwolf and Zen, despite not getting that 2nd place, will still walk away with a tied position with 12 points being seen there. Gamerlegion getting away with 11 off the back of it. Riddle, like I said, 7 kills up there as well. This has become a very interesting first game to have.
Especially considering the fact that out of the top 7, 4 of those teams were teams that are sitting on the right side of the leaderboard overall, right? And now PG did manage to get themselves a solid 5-point game there. But overall, I mean, that's what I was saying before. You've got to be scared. Some of these teams that aren't in the top yet, they're crawling back, and well, they're starting to get points now.
And that's Tornado and Avangar with 0 points in that game. Now, Avangar were getting active. They were looking like a solid force to fight up and go forward with. Yeah. And sadly, it just wasn't meant to be. They got ripped apart by Winside. They got caught off guard, and Desperado then took a few shots at them as well.
For sure. And we see the score leaders, kill leaders as well. Page had a phenomenal day yesterday, able to continue where he left off.
And some of the Moonwolf players are still up on there as well, both Edukos and Oko. And this is the kind of kill feed I love, is where it's very even, right? 4-4-4, 3-2-3s, 2-2s, and just a solid overall, everyone getting involved, everyone trying to find teams, getting caught in any position they can to take the fights.
Yeah, this one for Moonwolf, I mean, great game for them. You said it as well, James. It's considering how rough of a day they had yesterday. One thing is, sure, you have to disconnect. That's what happens. But then you don't really come back and strike in hard with the games you have left remaining. Yeah. So then to be able to turn things around here and get yourself a good showing, that is a really, really, really good feat for them.
And the reason we're highlighting that, guys, just in case no one was around yesterday, is that they actually had to play some of their games without all of their players in play. They had to play a game with 3 players in, and then finally only got to they missed 1 game in total. And look what this has done for both Quickmath and Moonwolf. This has made this a little bit closer to getting to where they want, and they're creating a nice gap now between the likes of Se7en and Avangar.
And I was going to say, look at that spot down there, right? Because Avangar, Riddle, tied. Winside just below him. I don't want to count out 4AK and We Need a Home yet. There's still games to be played, and we've seen them do things before. I'm missing it right now, but there's a chance that teams in situations of desperation are able to pull off magic. We've seen it so many times in Contenders where 1 point becomes the difference in that final game, right? But Avangar, Riddle, Winside, if they want to have any chance of crawling back, they need to start catching up right now.
And you know what we've got to mention here? Zen, again, at the top of a leaderboard. They don't have an organization.
Nope.
They're not represented.
Nope.
No tag team. They currently sit in 5th place. They don't have an organization either. What is going on? These are teams that are going to potentially, more than likely at this stage, make it to Berlin now off the points that they have. And they need a home.
My prediction is they'll be, if they get to PEL, like one thing is they do well here. Another thing is if they actually make it into the top 4 when it comes to the
instantly should be picked up, surely.
And I think they will.
Yeah, you got.
I'm very confident. I'm very confident that they will be.
Well, if you want to jump on that before, maybe you do know an organization that's looking. Maybe just point them to some of these contenders teams because there's some pretty damn good ones. But we'll see some pretty damn good PUBG action coming your way once again. And when we come back from this break, we'll see you guys in just a few moments.